The massive Imperial flagship Eternal Dawn emerged from hyperspace like a colossal steel mountain looming against the glittering stars. Its polished hull stretched endlessly, bristling with weapons that could obliterate entire planets, and the ship radiated an aura of unquestionable authority. Grand Admiral Vale stood at the command center, perfectly straight in his decorated uniform, eyes fixed on the star maps projected in midair, confident that humanity was about to learn its place in the grand order of things. Near the asteroid belt, 5 seemingly primitive human mining vessels floated, small and blocky, laden with attachments for extracting valuable minerals. Their vessels looked laughably underpowered compared to the sleek lines of the Imperial designs that had conquered 1,000 worlds. Inside the lead human ship, the Olympus, Admiral James Porter sipped his morning coffee, completely at ease, oblivious to the looming Imperial fleet. The crew busied themselves with mining operations, humming casually as they adjusted their equipment, unaware that their very lives were about to become a cosmic comedy of errors. The holographic communication display sparked to life on the human bridge, revealing the towering figure of Grand Admiral Vale. His voice boomed through the ship's speakers, dripping with Imperial authority. Inferior human vessels, you face the might of the Eternal Empire. Surrender immediately and prepare for absorption into our grand civilization. Resistance will result in your immediate destruction. Porter set down his mug, glanced at his crew, and smiled. Did you catch that? He said, as some crew members struggled to contain their laughter, hiding behind their hands while others snickered openly. Porter's response was calm, almost playful. Hello there. Could you repeat that? We'd like to make sure we record it properly for posterity. Vale's frown deepened. His pride had been wounded by the audacity of these primitive humans. You dare mock the Empire, he growled. Our weapons can reduce your ships to atoms. Porter leaned back, taking a sip of coffee. Oh, I'm sure they can. Is that a Mark 7 plasma array on your port side? Haven't seen one in a museum since I was a kid. Still works, I hope. The Imperial bridge fell silent. Vale's face flushed crimson as the humans casually dissected the Empire's most treasured weapons like schoolchildren examining an old science project. The Empire's sensors failed miserably. They couldn't detect the layers of quantum shielding around the human ships, nor the compressed singularity drives powering them, or the planet-cracking weapons hidden beneath civilian mining equipment. Threats that should have shattered worlds were rendered impotent, leaving only a mild, light show that humans could even convert into usable energy for their coffee machines. Meanwhile, Porter leaned over the console, grinning at his crew, who were now openly chuckling at the absurdity of the situation. Vale, determined to assert dominance, activated the Star Splitter, the Empire's ultimate weapon, drawing energy from 3 suns. Its glow eclipsed nearby stars, a beam capable of melting entire planets aimed directly at the Olympus. On the human ship, Lieutenant Mary Cooper barely looked up from her lunch. They're charging the big gun, she called out. Want me to put it on the main screen? Porter replied, still nonchalant, sure, let's see how long it takes them. As the beam fired, it splashed off the Olympus's invisible shield like water hitting glass. Did anyone feel that? Another crew member asked. Nah, someone replied casually. Just a bit of light. The humans went back to their tasks as if nothing had happened. Coffee was poured, mining operations continued, and videos were recorded. The Empire's pride was crumbling while they themselves remained clueless. Vale ordered a full-spectrum scan of the human vessels, hoping to detect weaknesses. Imperial analysts watched in awe and confusion as their equipment revealed impossible structures, rooms bigger on the inside than the outside, energy readings that violated known laws of physics, and devices capable of transforming into dozens of configurations. Lieutenant Bob, the human AI operator, jokingly revealed the quantum ice cream maker, which produced infinite flavors on command. Imperial scientists stared at the readings, baffled. "It's just ice cream," Bob said, "but the flavors? Infinite." The human crew laughed, fed their seven-dimensional pet dragon, and casually discussed their hidden time loops and pocket universes as if describing ordinary office cubicles. Vale's crew tried to process it all, failing miserably. The humans weren't afraid, they were having fun. After a week of failed scans and mounting confusion, the Empire formally requested a diplomatic meeting. On a neutral space station, Ambassador Roy, the Empire's finest diplomat, arrived expecting solemn negotiations. Humanity sent Tom Wilson, a retired history teacher turned part-time ambassador, who approached the situation with casual amusement. He sipped his mug, which read "Galaxy's Most OK Ambassador," and began recounting humanity's secret history of technological advancement. Tom explained with cheerful clarity that humanity had been ahead for 3,000 years, observing the rise and fall of other civilizations, including the Empire itself. Imperial diplomats were flabbergasted. He casually pulled out old photographs of Imperial ships, pointing out color choices and design flaws with the kind of critique only a curious historian could provide. "We even have a tourist spot on Europa where people watch your fleets pass by," he said. The diplomats looked pale, realizing humans had been monitoring them for centuries. Tom casually addressed the threats the Empire considered terrifying. "The cosmic horrors? The space monsters you guard against? We let them through. Small, manageable ones." He projected a holographic display of creatures so terrifying that they made Imperial nightmares look tame. Yet humans handled them with the casualness of a gardener trimming bonsai. Even Jupiter had been given sentience and a subscription to puzzle magazines, keeping it entertained between planetary defense duties. Humans taught the Empire a fundamental lesson: the best defense wasn't intimidation, it was mastery, humor, and observation. Imperial weapons that had once been symbols of terror were now powerless. Social media in human space exploded with memes, videos, and jokes about the Empire's fearsome armaments, cementing the humiliation and the comedy of their failure. Humanity's casual confidence left the Empire reeling. Finally, the Empire conceded and proposed an alliance. Tom, with trademark humor, proposed a simple agreement: humans would help upgrade technology, provide guidance, and share resources like ice cream makers, with minimal demands. No humiliating surrender conditions. The Empire hesitated but realized that accepting this surprisingly reasonable offer was far preferable to losing relevance across the galaxy. 6 months later, the galaxy had transformed. Former Imperial warships became classrooms. Children studied galactic history and were taught the value of curiosity, humor, and humility. The infamous Star Splitter weapon now sat beside the first faster-than-light coffee maker in a museum, labeled "Both run on similar principles. One destroys planets, the other makes perfect lattes." Former Imperial officers now learned to enjoy the universe. Infinite energy cores powered by happy thoughts and cat videos, seven-dimensional dragons playing interdimensional chess, and temporal vending machines offering snacks from any historical point became part of daily life. Humanity's philosophy of blending advanced science with simple pleasure spread, transforming the culture of the galaxy. Admiral Porter, now retired, relaxed in his garden, watching Imperial ships navigate the solar system under Jupiter's playful guidance. Former enemies learned to laugh at themselves and grow, understanding that life was far richer when approached with humor and intelligence. Vil, the former Grand Admiral, enjoyed coffee brewed from converted Imperial weapon energy, playing interdimensional chess with a pet dragon gifted by humans. The very species he had intended to conquer had become his teacher. Across human space, research centers flourished, combining science with delight. Learning and innovation were paired with laughter, ice cream, and games, teaching everyone, even former enemies, the joy of discovery. Humans used their advanced technologies for education, entertainment, and practical purposes, demonstrating that power alone was meaningless without creativity, compassion, and humor. The Empire, humbled and enlightened, adopted a new approach to governance. Former battlefields became cultural centers. Officers studied philosophy alongside engineering, and even high command had casual Fridays with quantum snack machines. Life in humanity's galaxy became unpredictable, strange, yet incredibly vibrant. Former adversaries learned to work with humans, experiencing culture, science, and humor beyond their imagination. Every interaction with humanity reminded the galaxy that power was only part of civilization. Wisdom, creativity, and a sense of humor could change the course of empires. Humans had mastered the art of observation, patiently waiting until the galaxy was ready for guidance, revealing their strength without arrogance, and teaching others without condescension. Imperial citizens found joy in previously boring routines. Navigating star systems became playful, problem-solving a game, and technological advancement was infused with whimsy and delight. Even the grand imperial halls, once symbols of fear, became places of learning and creativity. Humans demonstrated that intelligence paired with joy could reshape society. Imperial High Command adapted. Meetings once filled with tension now included casual discussions, puzzles, and coffee brewed by quantum machines that could extract flavors from infinite possibilities. Children of all species were exposed to a new way of life, respect for history, love for innovation, and the importance of fun in learning. Scientific conferences became celebrations of creativity, humor, and multidimensional thinking, rather than cold calculations and rigid protocol. Admiral Porter occasionally reflected on the absurdity of the first imperial attack. The Empire had arrived with the intent to conquer, only to leave humans laughing and enjoying coffee, turning a potential war into an interstellar comedy. Humans taught the galaxy that intelligence without playfulness was hollow. The universe responded, flourishing in unexpected ways under their subtle, persistent guidance. Diplomatic relations transformed into collaborations, knowledge sharing, and exchanges of culture, with humans leading by example, combining advanced technology with simple pleasures. Even the most fearsome imperial warships now housed classrooms, libraries, and laboratories, exploring the mysteries of time, dimensions, and probability, while keeping snack breaks mandatory. Vil watched young imperial officers learning to laugh at themselves, play chess with dragons, and sip coffee powered by weapon energy, realizing true leadership was about inspiration, not fear. Across galaxies, humans' influence grew quietly but inevitably, demonstrating that observation, patience, and humor were as potent as the mightiest weapon. Civilizations previously fearful of the Empire now approached humans for guidance, technology, and cultural collaboration, seeing them as pioneers rather than conquerors. The human way combined imagination with practical solutions, infinite energy, quantum computation, and even multidimensional pets became tools for joy and growth. Imperial officials no longer measured strength by destruction but by creativity, adaptability, and the ability to enrich life across species. Porter, Wilson, and other human leaders quietly watched as the galaxy transformed into a place of laughter, learning, and collaboration. The old imperial threats faded into history, replaced by curiosity and camaraderie. Vil, sipping coffee with his dragon companion, smiled at the irony. Humanity had been the galaxy's quietest, most powerful teacher, showing that true superiority lies in knowledge, joy, and understanding. Life in humanity's galaxy became extraordinary. Planets, stars, and civilizations thrived, powered not by fear, but by laughter, curiosity, and the simple pleasures that made existence not only survivable but delightfully unforgettable.